Hello, everyone.
We're finally back. It feels like forever.
I know, it
It's
does
been
feel like
2
forever.
weeks, like we said.
Yes, but we're back with a new episode.
But it's a little different. Even though you can't see it or hear it yet, Jason is in the room
Jason
with
is
us.
in the room, not just the studio. We have been able to get him in the room.
A microphone.
Yes.
Now, the audio quality might not be the best because we have a situation right now that we need to figure out. But go ahead, say hello, Jason.
Hello. As of right now, I'm recording through Jackson's phone.
You don't need to tell them that.
There's some hiccups. We're figuring out the hiccups. It should hopefully be sorted out by next episode.
Yup.
But we really wanted Jason to be part of it. This was the best we could do
So far.
Right, so far.
It
But
took
it should get
forever.
better. Yes, it should be better.
Yeah, hopefully, eventually.
Yes, but
any
we're
announcements?
ready
I don't
to
think
start. We don't have really any announcements. We're just going. We're just going. We're just doing a normal episode. We'll have some shorts, but nothing really special planned for these next 2 weeks.
Which, if you are curious what Jason looks like right now, I posted a picture of him on the Instagram. So, the Instagram. Oh, I feel so old saying it like that. Yeah. On Instagram. Anyways.
On Instagram, yeah.
So, what is our first topic, Jason? Oh, and Jason's reading our topics this time.
Yep.
So, we don't have,
So, the first topic for today, Dumb Money, is a movie coming out next month about events that happened only 2 years ago. Do you guys think that that's too recent to be based on a true story?
Yeah, so, Dumb Money, if y'all don't know or seen the trailers, that it is based off what is widely known as the GameStonk event in which it was a stock squeeze in which a ton of people on Reddit and the internet started buying into GameStop stock when a lot of hedge funds and stuff were shorting it. There's a lot of financial jargon. Basically, Wall Street lost a ton of money, and a bunch of internet people got a ton of money and became this whole legal thing. And they're doing a movie based off of it that looks really good.
looks awesome.
The GameStonk thing only happened 2 years ago, and they're immediately doing a based on a true story thing.
Yeah.
And I just don't know.
We've seen time and time again, Hollywood is out of ideas at this point.
But this actually looks like a good movie. But it's the immediacy of because it's
Well, yeah, that's my point. Is that they're so desperate they're willing to just make a true story, even though it happened literally.
It just happened, yeah. Because usually when you see these, it's at least a decade old thing. Even with I remember when Rocket Man came out, and they did the Elton John biopic. It was interesting because I was like, well, Elton John's still alive. I think that's weird, just talking about someone who's still there. These people just went through the whole experience that this movie is talking about. So
they could have even had not the people that went through it as the actors.
Yeah, they could have.
I've actually seen a movie, I don't remember what it's called, 1715 to Paris or something like that, where the people who survived this thing were the actual actors
I remember when they did that. Yeah,
it was a good movie.
But no, it's just fascinating because the cast does look great. Paul Dano, Pete Davidson, Seth Rogen. There are a lot
Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman. There's a lot of great actors involved in it, and it looks really good.
Yeah. No.
It's just I just find that so fascinating that they would do it so quickly, and I do think it's an interesting story, and I do think it's one that needs to be told. But I also find it fascinating because they did also a documentary last year. So it's gone from true story,
I didn't even know
documentary, and now they're doing a full kind of based on a true story movie, dramatized version of it. Next month, I believe it's in September. But I saw the trailer when I went to see Barbie, and I was like, and Barbie was amazing, by the way. But
I still haven't seen it.
When I went to see it, I saw Dumb Money. I was like, oh, that actually it piqued my interest because I remember reading about it when it first happened. That's what I'm saying. We very much well remember it, and so I guess it's cool being able to see a movie about something that happened that you remember, which with a lot of basic true story stuff we don't.
Not many people get to do that.
Yeah, but
it's a really fascinating.
Story.
If you don't know, you kind of gave it an explanation, but it's. Yeah.
It is. It was just very unheard of in the world of Wall Street and stocks. In that world, so it was a very strange situation. But and I'm not trying to say they shouldn't make a movie.
I didn't realize it was a YouTuber who was
Yeah, well, I think it was a combination of YouTubers and Redditors. I think maybe there was some both going on. So I do think it's cool that I think I'm going to find out more about that situation. I didn't know more about the people that were involved in it, but it looks interesting.
It does. So that's what's our next topic?
What's our next topic there, Jason?
Tears of the Kingdom finally has a challenger for
Game of the year, Jason.
yeah. Tears of the Kingdom finally has a challenger for Game of the Year. It's Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about. Oh, sorry. You go.
I've never played Baldur's Gate. I've never played Zelda. No, I'm kidding. I've played Zelda. I still haven't finished Zelda, but Baldur's Gate 3 is getting a lot of really good
Yes,
reviews.
I haven't played it yet either. I will make that very clear. We have not played Baldur's Gate 3. I'm planning on playing it when it comes to PS5. I guess in a few weeks. I mean, one in early September. But I mean, and I know we've talked about Tears a lot on this channel recently in Zelda. But to be fair, it's an amazing game, and it's been the talk of the town for this year. So, and like we've talked about it a lot because there's a lot to talk about with that game. And you know,
He's a huge D&D fan.
I'm a huge D&D guy, and so
Baldur's Gate 3 is relatively
so
similar.
Baldur's
You
Gate
explain that.
3, I'm sure y'all know. It is an RPG that basically just follows the rules of 5e D&D. It's Baldur's Gate 3. There was Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, which I've tried to play and I couldn't really get into them. They were based off 3.5 edition of D&D, which is very different and much more confusing. But Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, the stuff, the crazy, like it's very open to, you know, like D&D. It's there's different stuff you can do. It's a lot of branching stories, and it's the only game that I've seen this year that actually seems to have a chance of taking on Tears of the Kingdom.
Hasn't it been like 10 years since the second one?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those sequels that were like the second one released in like the early 2000s or something. But no, I mean it is crazy because like Tears came out, and before Baldur's Gate 3 showed up, like Tears came out and everyone was like, okay,
Game of the year.
Game of the year. We're all in agreement. Baldur's Gate 3 comes out, and now people are saying Baldur's Gate 3 is the greatest turn-based RPG of all time. Mm-hmm. And that's it, or like one of the greatest RPGs of all time. That's an interesting, you know, but that's good. I read an article recently that was like, you know, that's great that there's actually some big competition for
Definitely.
these games.
Especially, the games that need competition don't have it, like Call of Duty or anything like that. I mean, Battlefield kind of competes with it, but it's not like a yearly release. So, also, your point on that, the fact that Tears is the one that has competition, while it's one of the best games ever.
Yeah, I mean, but that's great. Like,
it is good. It is good.
I mean, people have been saying like, you know, Tears 2023 could become the like year of video games. You know, like. I'm just looking at each other. This is the problem with Jason being like staring us dead-eyed. You can't see it. He's just making dead eye contact.
Okay, Walker, you didn't see this, but for me it was as the sound guy, it was a very hilarious 30 seconds because in that 30 seconds you took a sip of your water right in the mic. You went.
Sorry.
And then Jackson picks up his water and hits his microphone, and he just looks right at me, and it was so funny.
Sorry. You gotta get that good ASMR. The Heard About It ASMR video we're gonna record.
Yeah, I need something to block from seeing Jay. Stop.
I told you ASMR.
I need something like block seeing Jay. I keep hitting my microphone. So I don't laugh through this entire show, man.
No, I am back to top end. But Baldur's Gate 3, though, I mean, it does look amazing. And, you know, one of the great opportunities is, and I was telling you about this, I have friends that I've never had the chance to play D&D with, and I love that, and we both love it. Baldur's Gate 3 with its co-op, it's almost, like, I'm kind of excited because it's like, oh, here's a chance to actually play, you know, D&D in a different way, but it's finally a way we can experience this game together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's...
I
would be interested in playing D&D. I don't have a group of friends that, I mean, he'd like to, but
it's honestly, I think
cool.
it's one of the greatest, like,
D&D is Dungeons and Dragons. Have we said that?
I think we said Dungeons and Dragons. If you don't know, D&D is short for Dungeons and Dragons. So Baldur's Gate is based off 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. I think we said that.
Yes.
But Tears and Baldur's Gate, I think those
are they similar in any way?
I mean, no, because Baldur's Gate is...
Is it turn-based?
Turn-based. It is turn-based.
Yeah. Hopefully you know what turn-based is.
Yes. But no, I mean, they're very different games, but very similar in some ways. So I think everyone has been saying the only other games they could see heavily competing with it is maybe Starfield.
That's coming out this year.
That's coming out this year.
October?
I believe in October. So I mean, it's
Alan Wake 2 got
Alan Wake 2 got delayed. So there's a ton of games. We talked about that in that previous episode. A ton of games releasing this year, especially late in the later half.
I just realized I can't do my segues anymore because I don't have the topics. Jason's doing.
It's sad. It's
So
sad.
sad.
But,
So Jason could segue.
yeah, and I think a lot of people would say like, is Tears going to get forgotten with all these great games releasing in front of it at the end of the year? But then you see Elden Ring released at the beginning of the year last year. And so then it was like, okay, and then it was like one of those things where Elden Ring was the game to beat.
It won?
For that year. And it still won.
So
like all these games had a chance to kind of take the spotlight from Elden Ring, and it still won. So would it be annoying if like we had two open world action RPGs win Game of the Year 2 years in a row? I mean, that would be.
People like them.
They like them. They're really fun. But it would be exciting to see Baldur's Gate 3 win, and maybe because that would be a really Dungeons and Dragons always has its ups and downs, but it's starting to get more, I feel like, embraced and vindicated in kind of the mainstream. And I think if a video game adaptation of Dungeons and Dragons won Game of the Year, that would also be a big help.
No, 100%.
And then on top of that, when has like a turn-based game been big and won Game of the Year? Like when's the last time that happened?
I think there has been some. There's been some times. I mean,
Earthbound.
I mean, it hasn't won Game.
Not Game of the Year, but like still like really famous games that are.
That's another thing. I mean, it's hard. I'm not a huge turn-based RPG fan, but Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, the genius of that is, and it just takes D&D perfectly. I mean, people have been able to figure out that you can maximize damage if you become an owlbear, which is a type of animal in D&D. Increase your size, and then if you just jump down from a high place and jump on top of an enemy, you do like 600, like you do an insane amount. So
is that the creature from the movie?
Yeah, from the movie. So the amount of freedom that Baldur's Gate 3 gives you is in some ways very similar to the freedom that Tears gives you. So it's one of those things where they're very different games, but at the same time they're very much the same. So I think Game Awards is going to be a very crowded, very competitive year. But I think that's really exciting because it's always fun with when it's a competitive year, especially considering I think the Game Awards just gets better and better with every year. The presentation and the events that they do. And I think it's a fun night. And so I really think 2023's Game of the Year is going to be a really fun.
Unlikely, but heard about it going to Game Awards.
We're not going to Game Awards, guys.
That'd be cool.
It'd be cool that we're not going to go.
Next year, maybe.
Speaking of games, it's time to play our first game.
Yay!
He said first game.
Ooh.
We'll just leave you on that. Anyways, continue.
Anyway, Jason does. We'll just explain the first game as usual.
The first game. Oh yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So, Jason's not really.
This is our usual game that we play. If you've been watching us, each of us have a thing that the other person has to guess.
Character. Anything.
There are 3 clues. The person's going to try to guess what it is in 3 clues. We have to guess what clue I think. So here's an example. I'm asking Jackson it. He has to guess what I'm asking him. I might say I think Jackson will get it on the second clue. And so then we both go and take a turn and we see who wins.
Yes.
All right, Jackson.
You'll pick it up pretty quickly.
Yes. All right. Jackson.
Yes.
I really think, you'll definitely get it in 3.
Oh.
I think you're just going to get it in 3. I don't think you know the first 2 clues, but I'll be interested to see. All right. You know the person, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This actor starred in one of James Gunn's early films, Super, as the aspiring superhero, the Crimson Bolt.
The Crimson Bolt?
Yes. And it was one of James Gunn's early films called Super.
Do you know when it released?
I believe in 2010.
What? Okay. I have no idea.
So it's like pre-Guardians James Gunn.
I have no idea.
You can skip.
Well, yeah, to the next one.
You want to skip? Okay. He recently portrayed the radio personality Dr. Demento in the comedy biopic Weird, the Al Yankovic Story.
I know the movie. I haven't seen it, but I still have
no idea.
Say that again. Sorry.
He recently portrayed the radio personality Dr. Demento in the comedy biopic Weird, the Al Yankovic Story.
Just skip.
Skip? All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
His most famous role is as Dwight Schrute in the American sitcom The Office.
Oh, Rainn Wilson.
Yes.
Did you know this, Jason?
Nope. If you asked me who Rainn Wilson was, I would say I have no idea.
Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson. Yes. Willison. I'm surprised you even guessed that, because I don't think I've ever heard Willison as a last name. So the fact that you even said Willison, I find to be
good job.
No,
you're good.
Yeah, I didn't think you knew. I thought maybe you would remember he was in the Weird Al movie.
No, I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah.
That's funny, though.
Yeah, so in real life, there was a guy named Dr. Demento who was a radio personality that helped Weird Al get his start, and Rainn Wilson plays him in the movie. He's actually really funny in it. That was my turn.
Now it's my turn.
Jackson got it in 3.
So I got it in 3. I think you're going to get this in 1.
Okay.
It's really, really easy.
Oh, no.
I say that, but my previous record has shown
you win like every time. Maybe this will change.
It probably will. It's really easy. He's a Spider-Man from the future.
Are you serious?
That's easy.
Miguel O'Hara? What was the other clues?
There's other ones.
He is the leader of a society. His name is Miguel. The third clue.
Well, it was Spider-Man 2099 technically.
Okay, I guess I could have said 2099.
That was really, really stupid and easy.
Jason, you may need to start writing Jackson. Oh my gosh, what's this? He's gonna write it. Jason may need to start writing Jackson's clues because he either makes them way too hard.
But I just want to redeem myself
because
that was a really bad.
I won for the record though. He had his chance to write his clues.
So you were about to say something, Jason?
I was gonna try to come up with one on the spot, but I'm not getting very far.
Yeah, no, it's hard. You got to think about it. See, I consider
think about it. Like heard about it. Sorry. Do I even? I mean, we don't have to do this.
You can just give up and let me win this one.
I'm better than.
Oh my gosh.
Are you? Did you see the clues that you wrote?
Did you already delete them?
Yeah.
Dang it. I mean, it was literally like mine. Like it was literally like.
You don't have to tell
it. You don't have to He is Spider-Man. He has a society.
It was not. Okay, I just watched Spider-Verse last night. To be fair,
Did you like it?
Yes,
I've
seen it before.
We've all seen
it.
We've
Jason didn't.
Okay, next topic. Next topic. Disney is raising the price of their streaming services again, also while cracking down on password sharing. Is ad-free streaming getting too expensive?
It is. 100%.
You think it is?
Streaming is so unbelievably expensive. People don't understand what bandwidth is.
Yeah.
Bandwidth is a thing that companies use to basically deliver you your data. There's huge cables in the ocean, if you didn't know this. There are monstrous cables in the oceans. And those transfer data all across the continents. And to use those cables, you have to pay because it's expensive to transfer data. And so bandwidth is very expensive. There's more to it than just that.
Yeah.
That's kind of a basic thing.
But I do think the main thing to think about is it's ad free because they're raising their prices, but but Netflix and Disney Plus, I mean they're launching these ad supported tiers.
Disney doing that?
Yeah, Disney is also. That's what I want to also mention is that Disney is adding its own. It's a cheaper, basically. I think it's like the same price or like a little cheaper than the starting price that Disney Plus was at initially. It's a little cheaper than that.
Okay, so it's like $5.
So it's great, but it's one of those things where I think the big reason that everyone so quickly jumped the ship from cable to streaming when it first showed up was no ads.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It was, okay, I can watch a movie without ads.
And the binge formula.
And the binge formula. So it was all of that.
Gone now.
With ads, now that it's all these ad things, and now it's like, it's getting so ridiculous that you might as well just pay for the ad version. And I know I still think it's better than cable because you still get to choose what 100%. You watch. You have a little bit more freedom, but it's also, I feel like we're just back to what cable, just a slightly modified version of cable.
Yeah, we're getting there. Netflix might be actually removing their, what is it called? Binge formula. So I think they've talked about this before because people would just subscribe for 1 month.
Yeah.
To watch a season, probably like Stranger Things, and then unsubscribe. So I think after Stranger Things season 5, which will be the last season, they're going to switch back to a weekly release, just like
well,
HBO and Disney
they
and
kinda,
Peacock and everything else.
Well, they kind of dipped their toes in the water with that, with the Stranger, when they released the finale of Stranger Things a few weeks later, which I actually thought was a good balance, because I feel like going back to the once a week thing with Disney was cool, and it was fun, because it was, not everyone could binge it. We all had to wait. So I think there was some fun in that. But I do think, because I feel like there's still going to be people who are just going to wait till it fully releases and then binge it. So then all you're just doing is just delaying it for some people. And I thought the Stranger Things one was a good balance of you could still binge it, but then we all had to wait for this climactic finale.
Yeah.
So, but I do
Very
think...
long. But it was amazing.
But it was, it is getting just a little ridiculous, I think, the amount. And because it's like... Because I feel like if there's so many, and it feels like we're required to have at least 3 different streaming services, then paying like $12 a month for each of these just gets a little ridiculous.
I mean, like $40.
It's like a $40-$50 a month thing.
But I also think on cable side, I'm gonna defend cable, even though I don't think we should have cable anymore. Some people might want it, but anyways, on cable side, because of the you can't choose, we are choosing what you get to watch. They weren't like desensitized. We talked about retention.
Yes.
People just want everything they want on demand.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's very immediate now.
Now you can, whereas before people enjoyed shows, I feel like a lot more before streaming services started rolling around.
Well, that's the thing, I'll use a great example that's kind of similar to that. I have Apple Music and I have, on-demand music. I still listen to the radio a lot.
Yeah, you were telling me
because I like that there's like this hand-picked curated selection for me that like I'm watching, and I always find I'm skipping songs a lot, and I feel like listening to the radio forces me to listen to a song in its entirety. And so, I feel like cable can have that benefit, where it's, you just scrolling and you find a movie that you really like, and sure, there's ads, but there's ads on streaming now, so might as well watch this movie, and I feel like at a certain point, people are just going to start, I think we're going to go back to weighing the cost of, do I just pay for a single cable subscription, or do I pay for ad-supported streaming services? So it'll be interesting to see where streaming's going.
It's
just because it was just got so chaotic so fast and so crowded and so expensive.
Yeah, 1 second here. I need to respond to someone. Sorry, it's important.
Do you want more ASMR, Jason?
Do it.
I don't. Thank you. No, you're all good. You can stop that, Walker.
You do it.
Okay, so like my family has cable.
Oh,
but
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
my family.
tell us how
We
that
have cable.
is.
Like we have
No.
Xfinity cable. Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have Xfinity cable as well. My dad only uses it to watch the Braves games and watch football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we, other than that, use Netflix and Disney Plus for everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I've sat down and I've turned on cable to watch it. Every time I turn on the TV, I go right to Netflix, right to Disney Plus,
Yeah.
right to Apple TV.
My dad really only uses cable for sports. That's really like news. My mom watches the news in the morning, and then my dad watches sports.
This was announced a while ago, but they finally started doing ads for it. Did you hear about how NFL Sunday Ticket is a YouTube exclusive now?
That is crazy to me that Sunday Ticket got picked up by YouTube. Like I'm sure they're gonna get so much more subscribers from that. Like that was a good deal.
It's not just YouTube; it's YouTube TV.
YouTube
which is
TV, which is their
it's
streaming. I mean, it's their streaming
streaming.
service.
Yeah, basically.
Which, and I don't think it was that good. It's kind of like it's kind of the remnants of what was YouTube Red, right?
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
or like YouTube Music. How it's kind of like, that's
but,
there.
I mean, yeah, that was a big grab, I think, from YouTube TV.
It's crazy because it's like if you have YouTube TV, I believe you already get it.
You just automatically get Sunday Ticket.
I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But I think that's how that works because YouTube TV is expensive.
Yeah.
It's like $90 a month. It's like it's like cable expensive.
Oh, really? Like they've.
Because I think it's supposed to be in a cable format.
Oh, so it's like a
think.
lot of like just a ton.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, and I will say though, one thing about cable. I know Jason wants to move on, but one more thing. One thing about cable, the screen just turned off. One thing about cable that I do think people forget is the on-demand. I I mean, cable does have the on-demand ability, which is, I used to use on-demand all the time before we had streaming. Like my streaming service, like when I was young, before we really had, was on-demand, which was with like basically was
Disney
your
XD
DVR would
on-demand.
sometimes like record stuff.
Yeah.
Was it basically like they like the cable company would pre-record old airings and they would sometimes have it. So like I would, to catch up on like cartoons that I had missed, I would watch it on demand and
I
just
never use that feature. I just scroll ahead.
So yeah,
we're actually gonna take a cut right here because I need to do something really quick. We'll be right back.
magic of stuff. We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
But we actually talked about something that uses on-demand or not
Yeah,
on-demand
we just had to explain to someone how to work an Apple TV. So look at that.
So, I mean, it's kind of relative to topic.
Anyway,
Anyways.
moving on. And wait, hold on. Do I segue this correctly? And speaking of Netflix, Jason,
I wanted to say it.
Netflix is launching a cloud gaming beta for TV and PCs. Can they succeed?
I did it.
Succeed?
I want it for the record. 1 tally versus 5, but I'm on the board for segues.
Honestly, I like Jackson's segues the best, where he just goes, Segway!
That's true. I got so excited that I remembered that the next topic was...
I think the last episode was the best one where I did it on accident.
Anyway.
It's always so good. So I have no idea anything about this, so y'all are going to have to tell me about it.
Yeah.
So, the Netflix streaming service, or gaming service.
Yeah.
We've seen things in the past. We've seen Google Stadia. We've seen Amazon Luna. We've seen Xbox Game Pass streaming. They don't have a cloud gaming. Xbox cloud gaming beta at the moment. And there's one more.
Someone else.
Nvidia has not Nvidia. Does Nvidia?
I don't think so. I think that may be the big players in cloud gaming.
Yeah. So Xbox, Google is out of it because they've cut the project.
Yeah, they ended Stadia.
So it's just Xbox and Luna, and now Netflix.
Yeah, so Netflix has had, they've had like a library of games that you could play for free, but I think you had to download them. So now they're experimenting with like this cloud gaming program where you can play on your TV and you can use your phone as a controller if you need to. So I think they're experimenting with it in Europe.
That's terrible. Your
right now.
phone as a controller.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I mean, Netflix has actually been able to nab some pretty good games for their catalog. I think Oxenfree is the really big one. I've heard really good things about that.
I need to play that.
And I think that's like a Netflix Studios original. They got
Wait, is it really? No, it's not.
No.
It's been on. No, it's been on.
I think they got Shredder's Revenge for free, and maybe I don't. No, that was.
Is this so the formula of Netflix for their cloud gaming? Is it so where you can get a few for free, but you also buy some to still cloud game it?
No, I think
or is it's just like
it's
a
if you're
subscription.
I think what it is if you're subscribed to Netflix, you're going to
get it.
You're gonna get.
Is
it
a certain tier?
Cloud gaming.
Is it a specific tier?
I don't know if it's part of the ad-free tier or not.
Can you look up, Jason, if it's on a specific tier or not?
Yeah. But no, I mean, Stadia, did not last that long, and I just, it's not.
It was about
yet.
3 years. Cloud gaming can be done if it's on Wi-Fi. You don't want to game on cellular.
Yeah.
It's not strong enough yet. Unless you're like really close to a tower, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah, I think that's the main problem, because I think if Netflix I think that's where cloud gaming really needs to shine, is with streaming on wireless and data. And because I think on Wi-Fi that's fine, but at that point,
just get a console.
Get a console, or do something, and it will be great for because I think cloud gaming is going to be a future with these games getting so ridiculously large that downloading them is just like the idea of downloading a game will get so absurd that like you're just going to stream it.
Developers are also just bad at optimizing. At least like the big ones like Activision. Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to shout out any like indie developers.
There hasn't been. Yeah, I've heard like there's been some games that with insane file sizes just because of the audio. They just have these uncompressed audio.
Yeah, but I was gonna make a good point, but I don't remember. Also, another one though is it's really interesting because we've seen Game Pass for a long time, right?
Yeah.
it's always been called the Netflix of games, and so now Netflix is having a Game Pass streaming service, so it's kind of like full circle. We're back
I just feel like if Google, one of the great tech industries of all time, can't get a video game platform started, and
so that also wasn't. There's a lot more to it than that. Stadia could have succeeded. The marketing was really, really bad, especially when it first launched. It was really confusing. People didn't understand because you bought the controller, you paid for subscription, but on top of that, you bought the game separately.
Oh,
I think for some of it. There's like See, I still don't even understand it. They eventually changed it.
I had some cousins who had it for a little bit.
They eventually changed it to a subscription or something like that.
Yeah.
And basically Google. So to get higher in Google, you have to. I feel like I've heard this Google too many times. It feels weird saying it for some reason. Google. Anyways, to get higher in that corporation, I don't want to say the name. You have to do some amazing project or something. So this is one of those projects to where somebody was like, okay, I want to be a higher rank in this company. Yeah. And so I'm going to make this gaming streaming software, not streaming service that it's called Stadia, And so that person, after it launched and succeeded slightly, quickly moved up, completely forgot about Stadia, didn't care to support it anymore. And so it was just left with the Stadia team, like people just thrown on there to help work on it. And obviously didn't have a full vision or future for it, so it kind of got scrapped.
I did have some cousins who owned Stadia, and I think I remember it working. I think they would play Destiny on it, and I think it works. But I feel like, we've seen Nintendo has even experimented with those cloud versions of games, which I've heard, kind of work. Mm-hmm. I've heard
that was the point I was going to make a while ago about how we've never seen any cloud gaming on Nintendo or on the Switch before.
We have though.
We had.
That's what I'm saying. So they did Control.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. Is Control and Hitman? Was it Hitman?
I say it's Control.
I thought it was Hitman.
Dying Light and the Kingdom Hearts series.
The first two, I thought it was Control and Hitman.
Yes, and then also they made the bad one though is they tried to put they ported Kingdom Hearts to the Switch, but it was cloud versions of even the PS2 games of the older games, and they run there was so much lag on streaming.
That actually might be a way to get direct source code copies to modern consoles. Is cloud
that is
gaming.
True. Yeah, cloud gaming would be great for preservability and just being able to not having to do a native port or emulation.
Because it's hard to change from source code to get on a new console that doesn't support that type of code anymore. Because the original Donkey Kong, the arcade cabinet, there was something about the source code they can't access it anymore, something like that. And so none of the versions have ever actually felt the exact same way as before.
The original.
Yeah.
Well, I will be interested. Netflix, I feel like, I think they understand that there's a niche they got to target, I think, with their cloud gaming service. I think with games having games like Oxenfree. And I think if they go more of the route of these smaller indie games to try to stream and not immediately go for the big ones, try to do a big AAA game and try to cloud stream it. I think that's where I think they'll find the most success.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there.
We could do a whole episode just on cloud gaming, I think. It's a really interesting
I think it's going to evolve over time.
Yeah, I think it's not there yet, but I think once
over the next 10 years,
once it develops, I think it's going to be the big thing.
We're going to see.
I think it's going to be the future of games, which we don't download games anymore.
I would prefer it for my personal use. I would prefer not. Let us know, actually.
Yeah. Do you want to see a future where we merely just stream games and we don't really own a game? It's more just
if a game ran as well on an Xbox. Would you play it on cloud? Would you I don't know how to ask that because I don't want to just say there's no connection interruptions because there are obviously I feel like
there's always. I mean, if your internet goes down, the game's gonna go down. Yeah. Like when you're streaming a show or something.
Well, that's also the thing. Is on Xbox, there's a problem. I guess it doesn't really apply to anybody.
So this also ties back to the streaming service thing. Yeah. It's it's really similar because people. way back in the day, used to own like VHS tapes, and they would go to the store and they would like rent games, kind of similar to how we do now.
Yeah.
Like we would purchase discs for games.
Yeah.
And now we have streaming services to watch these movies that we once went to go rent or buy.
Yeah.
And so like in the future it could come to us not having discs, not owning games.
Yeah.
But we stream it just like we
Yeah.
stream movies and stuff from
That's
Netflix.
I think that's also closely relative to like, we stream movies and that, but we also download games now
Yeah.
instead of buying discs. Like we're seeing more and more digital consoles,
and that's sad though, because I feel like I don't think that's ever going to fully happen, because we've seen people as people have started to say, okay, we're just going to do digital copies. A lot of people have been up in arms about games with no physical copies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember, like I had pre-ordered Tears of the Kingdom as a digital copy, and I decided to cancel my digital pre-order to buy it physically, because there's just something about owning a physical copy of a game I just feel like is very special to people, and I don't know if people want to lose that.
I have that, but only for the Switch for some reason.
For Nintendo games?
Yeah.
There's I think some history and childhood with there and owning a Switch,
Yeah, I guess I grew up with the Wii, and that's might be why, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So CNET is deleting hundreds of articles for Google.
Okay, so this is a really interesting one. More Google heavy show today, kind of. Anyways, this is a really interesting one. CNET is a news outlet, and they are deleting old articles to get Google clout. Basically, they believe that the Google algorithm doesn't like their old articles, so it's not promoting their new things as much.
Yeah. I just feel like that's always a bad, on one hand I get it. It's one of those things where on one hand I get it, and on the other hand I don't.
The amount of work, though, from the previous authors of these
Yeah,
articles,
it's
just getting thrown away. Like,
because I think the one of the great things about the internet is like, if you need something from 10 years ago,
it's gonna be there.
It could be there.
But now it's not.
Like I remember, I was thinking about I abandoned it, but I was trying to find this old article I had read like a year ago about Empress New Groove, and I was like, "What's it called again?" And I remembered the title. So what did I do? Put in I think it was Vulture. Put in Vulture. I put in the name of the article subject. It was right there. It's from a year ago, but I was able to read the whole thing again, and that was great. Like imagine if if Vulture said like, okay, after a year we're going to delete our articles.
Quick question: why were you reading an article about Emperor's New Groove?
What?
I'm just curious. Why were you?
I was just because I had been playing with the idea of doing a video essay, and then I had found out that someone had done basically the exact same video essay I had done, so I had abandoned it. Which not a big surprise, but it was. I thought like maybe no one else has done the angle I was going to do, and then literally someone showed me a video, and it was the exact same angle I was going to do. but it was one of those things where I also just wanted to reread it because I find it to be a very fascinating story.
Yeah.
And it was there, and so it's just disappointing that, I feel like the great thing about, we talked about this game preservation. The great thing about art and books and stuff like that, and any kind of creative work, is that it in a perfect world, it's supposed to last forever. And for CNET to say like, no, you can't see that article. It is a little disappointing. Especially if these are more opinionated articles or they're editorial pieces.
It's not it's just thousands, not thousands, hundreds of just old articles that just didn't think was.
Which, could be used for,
there's a
people
lot.
build private, like there's research and, people do papers and stuff.
Yeah, what do you can train your AI models on if you don't have those, right?
Yeah, that's a really disappointing situation.
But we can kind of speak on this. We are small content creators, but we still use Google's YouTube's algorithm, right? I've found that it does not matter, at least for a small creator, it does not matter what your previous videos were. If you made something good, that's going to get pushed out.
Yeah, and I don't know if CNET looking at like if the algorithm affects it more long term, because they've been around for.
They have been. That's because if you think of the huge channels, you might think that okay, so these people already have enough clout.
Yeah.
They already have enough respect. They might be getting extra pushes to other people, but that also could be because other people really like this stuff already, and so they're watching.
I would just say like if you're worried about the algorithm and you're not getting shown enough, I would just like don't worry about what you did. Focus on what you're doing.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Do like if you think, oh, we're not getting promoted better, like maybe look at, is it an us? Is it not an old problem? Is it a current problem? Like, are we actually putting out the best articles and the best content, and the best stuff we can put out that people want to read and they want to really be informed by us, instead of just thinking, oh well, it must be this. Let's just remove all of these. Like at least focus on the now. I feel like in that scenario.
Yeah,
but
it's
very. I mean, that's a very disappointing situation. Yeah,
that's so.
I mean,
yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, we can't settle on. We can't settle. Not settle. What's the word? Linger on that. Unlike CNET. So
yes,
we're gonna. Yeah.
Move on.
We're gonna move on.
Next topic, Jason.
So actually, we're going to play our second game for this show.
Is it? Wait. Is there a third topic?
Yes, there's one more after.
Let's do one more topic. We're gonna do one more topic.
We're gonna end the show with the game. Sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna end the show. Jason jumped the gun there.
Well, now it's spoiled.
Last topic.
Man.
But also, I did think of an announcement. We were thinking of doing Portal 2 co-op stream.
Yes, in the future. We should also mention that. We didn't mention that at the beginning, but we don't know when. Dates. We haven't figured out a full date yet.
You can do it tonight.
I can't do it tonight.
Oh, you're working.
I can't do it tonight. Sorry, we can't do that. We can't just bring an announcement.
For our last topic before the end of the show is Blue Beetles has so far gotten really good reviews. Will that be enough for people to go see it in theaters?
No.
Yeah. I mean,
I just don't think so. No.
I mean, fair enough. Are we ready for our game now?
No. I will say, I was surprised it got as good as it did. I was expecting maybe the best, because I was surprised when I saw, and I know everyone has their qualms about Rotten Tomatoes, but I feel like generally it's a good thing to look at, just to get a first impression. Yes. I was expecting it to get at least at most maybe 60%, maybe 66. Mm-hmm. I think it's lowered it now. I think it's at 77. But those initial reviews put it at 80.
Oh wow.
Something percent. And that really shocked me because it was
it seems basically the caliber of Shazam, the first one.
And I remember though Jackson and I heard about it, was gonna do a short about how mid we thought Blue Beetle was. We never finished it, but we were gonna do a short about
I haven't finished. It's on my
how mid it looks. But it's apparently really good. And so in a way I remember it was going to be just an HBO Max movie.
Is it not in theaters?
It is, but then Warner Brothers said, you know what, we're gonna give it a theatrical release. Weird. And that was when I was like, and a lot of that's not a big name in
not a lot of people know.
Not a lot of people know who that is. And so I was surprised when it looks fun. It looks like they've done some interesting stuff with the action, and I've heard from the reviews that the lead actually does a pretty good job. And I think he is a cool hero.
That's one of my favorite DC superheroes because I grew up watching this show called Young Justice, and he was one of the main characters in it.
Yeah, so it looks good. So I will say it may do better than it was going to do, with the better reviews. I don't know if it will result in a really big box office success for DC, especially after Flash. It's kind of funny because it was kind of like everyone had high expectations for the Flash because of what they were saying about it, and then it got 60% Rotten Tomatoes, and then everyone was like, oh, okay, I guess not. Then I guess it's not the greatest movie of all time. And then everyone was kind of like, okay, that's Blue Beetle. And then I think people are going to see the 77% oh, well, maybe I should watch it, But I don't know. I may give it a chance. I think it will have released.
I'm not going to theaters to see it.
It will have released by the time this episode comes out. So we'll just have to see if it's box office. Oh,
it's not released yet.
It's not released yet, but I don't know. So those were kind of the pre-release reviews, but it looks fun. We'll see how it goes with Blue Beetle, but
there's not much to it really. It's just It
looks like a fun. It looks like a fun superhero.
The trailer made it look like just a very basic,
very standard, fun.
It felt like Phase 1 Marvel. It looked fine.
And to be fair, I know I made that point earlier. Like, not a lot of people know who Blue Beetle is. I mean, you can say that a lot about the Marvel characters that they've introduced.
It is true.
That are now household
Nobody
names.
knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was a super obscure
Even
Marvel comic before like Guardians are big in comics now, but that is because of the movies. So like it was not this big comic book group before James Gunn brought it.
Even the Avengers wasn't the famous comic like group of people. It was Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, but Avengers was still big for that. I mean, it was still big, but I mean, like the Avengers. I mean, Marvel did a good job of turning like lesser known superheroes into household names. I think DC is trying. I think James Gunn and DC overall is trying to see. Well, we don't have to just immediately go to Superman or Batman. Let's try Blue Beetle. Let's try some different characters and see if people actually like them.
Yeah.
So
it's it's just so hard to compete with the amount of like the entire Infinity Saga that's in there. And starting from beginning.
I don't know if we'll ever get anything though. I don't think any superhero thing will ever come close to what the Infinity Saga was.
Definitely not. No.
The Multiverse Saga is probably going to go out in a blazing ball of glory, flaming ball.
Well, it's not even that anymore. It's going to be Secret Wars. They might be just scrapping the multiverse thing.
Who knows?
But I do understand the Blue Beetle movie because I think I'm starting to understand it. It's more of a, I mean, obviously it's an origin story, but it's like we had Iron Man, we had Thor, we had Captain America, all those one-off movies. So it's already. Yeah.
I think that's smart to do the most of the movies. And I've heard the one interesting thing about Blue Beetle is it's more centered on a family and not just a person. It does give it a more interesting spin that you don't always see in a superhero movie. So that also interests me that there is a slightly different angle they're approaching the superhero movie. And so that really piques my interest. So we'll just have to see. I may give it a shot. I'll let y'all know in a future episode if I do it. If either of us get to see it, we'll let y'all know. But
did you talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? Had you seen that yet in the last episode?
I don't know if I had seen that yet in the last episode. If I did, reminder, it's amazing. If I didn't, it's still amazing. Really good.
I do want to see
Y'all should check it out. An amazing animated movie.
Mr. Beast is in it, so.
He is Mr. Beast. And so is Ice Cube and Post Malone and Paul Rudd. It's a great cast. Well,
yeah,
that's all our topics for today.
Time.
But it's second game time because Jackson beat me. So Jason, would you care to explain this game?
I would love to explain it.
I still don't know what's going on.
Okay.
You're gonna learn right now then.
Oh, yeah.
And I might be explaining a game different than the one that Walker had in his head, but
he'll figure it out. We'll figure it all out. We're working on it.
We're all gonna figure it out. So basically, what's gonna happen is it's kind of similar to Shark Tank, where I'm gonna give you guys a topic, and you guys are gonna take a second, think of it, and then pitch me an idea that would fall under that topic that I gave you. So I can give you an example. I can be like, pitch me an idea of a hotel. And then you would take a second and you would think, and you would pitch me this idea of a hotel that exists only underground. And the only it's like a mole themed hotel where it's all dark and dirty and all you eat is worms.
Yeah, but
so that is the idea.
Is that the example you gave him, or is he just making that up?
Nope, I made that one up on the spot.
Okay, nice.
The first time you heard it was the first time I heard
also
it.
let us know if you want a audio producer cam, because
if y'all want to see Jason more, if you want to see
it's
his
not
wonderful
his
face with his voice together, let us know. But
sitting in the blue chair.
All right.
So
Walker goes first because
I guess I'll go first. Yeah, winner gets to go first.
So I will be the judge. I'll pick who I think has the best idea. It can either be an idea that's just a really good idea, or it can be just an objectively funny idea. Jackson, it looks like you have a question.
No, I just realized even though you won, because Jason's here now, you didn't get to read the next topic.
Yeah, I know.
You didn't get the award.
Oh well. Yeah.
Ooh.
We should have like a heard about it crown or something.
Yes.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Jason, and that's for the mid show game, and then Jason, you can also pitch in, so we actually have like, and every 2 weeks somebody comes back with a crown, and they're like, I'm gonna.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. All right, here I go, Jason.
All right. So, your topic is a petting zoo. So pitch me the best idea you could have that pertains around a petting zoo.
Jason, we're all in agreement that Cameo may be one of the greatest social media programs to ever come out. I mean, to receive personal videos from your favorite celebrities, I mean, is honestly genius. However, what if we could take it one step further? May I present to you the celebrity petting zoo?
Oh, no.
Oh. Maybe you'll find this creepy, maybe a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's very
But you
creepy,
know that there are people out there that want this. We're not judging, we're just taking their money. The celebrity petting zoo.
So can you explain? If I was a first-time customer, how would this go about? Show me
It's
the ropes.
outdoor. You look to the left. Timothy Chalamet's there. I don't know. You walk to your right. Anyway, I mean, It's a rotating list. We get them. They're,
Just weekly. So you can have some high valued people that would go. You'd be open on the weekends probably.
Yeah.
They would fly over to wherever you have it.
Yeah, we trick them. We tell them that they're shooting a movie. We then force them into this petting zoo.
Petting zoo. So each celebrity would have their own box basically.
Yes.
And then these people who were paying would pay like a 1 fee ticket to get in, and they'd be able to enter these boxes.
We actually
shake hands,
we charge per pet. And
I
of course
understand.
the different celebrities have different rates.
So
like
it
Steve
would
Buscemi is
cost.
going to be a lot cheaper than your Chris Pine.
So it would cost an arm and a leg to go in there and rub the top of Dwayne the Rock Johnson's head.
Yes. I mean that's probably going to be your premier payment, is to be able to pat the bald head of Dwayne the Rock Johnson. But that is my idea for you: the celebrity petting zoo. Thank you.
I love that, Jackson.
I don't know how to follow that one up. Oh my goodness. So did that come back on?
Jason, do you need Jackson's idea?
Yeah, I need Jackson's idea.
Is he also getting petting zoo?
Oh, are y'all getting?
We're
I
getting
thought we were
two
getting
separate
two separate topics.
I thought we get two separate.
Do you want to
topics.
come up with a separate topic for me? Because I don't know how to follow.
That feels unfair. He could steal from me. I don't know. He could.
I introduce a YouTuber petting zoo.
Hey.
No, I'm kidding.
The real celebrities.
You can do restaurant. Walker, thoughts on restaurant as a topic? Yes.
Wait, who's doing? I've already done.
No. I know. I'm asking you. Do you think restaurant would be a good topic?
Sure. Give him restaurant.
No.
He has to pitch a restaurant.
Oh no. Okay, so.
Do you need a moment to think, Jackson?
Dude.
Okay, while Jackson's thinking, just ignore me, Jackson. When I was coming up with a topic, I thought I would just had to come up with one. But in my idea, I thought a funny petting zoo topic would be it's all exotic animals and potentially dangerous animals. So you'd have like pythons and stuff. And as you would go in, for a German Shepherd, you have that big fluffy bodysuit that you put on when you're training a German Shepherd as an attack dog. You would put on that in a hazmat suit, and you would go and you'd get to pet a Burmese python, cuddle with a bear, high five a tiger, all the things.
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, so let me start with a story first. A long time ago, I don't know how long, I can't remember the date. I learned this in astronomy class. With Jason's in there as well.
I am.
I think you know where this is going. Probably not.
I don't.
So there was this rocket with this fleet of a specific organism called the water bears. And basically, these organisms are microscopic. They're about 2 millimeters. Actually, I don't know if it's 2 millimeters. I don't remember the measurements. Is it? Do you remember?
I'm pretty sure it's in between 10 and 1.
Okay, something like that. Anyways, they're very small, but they can live basically any condition. They can live in space, in superheat. They're basically indestructible.
I'm a big science nerd. Basically, they're a water-based organism, and they just need water to survive. But the moment they're not around water, they basically curl up into this tiny ball, and this gel fills all of their cells. So none of their cells can dry out, and they can live almost 2 to 3 decades like that with no water, no oxygen. They just go in there. They basically mummify themselves, but when then they come back to water, the gel leaves their body. They're able to start reabsorbing the water, start getting the nutrients and food that they need, and open up and be back
Can
to
they
the
move in
creature.
that ball or no?
No, they're
okay.
no.
They just have to hope that they get to
Yes.
the water finds
Yes.
them.
And so there was a rocket that went to the moon but crashed, and there was a bunch of water bears on there. So there's hypothetically a bunch of stranded water bears on the moon.
Not hypothetically. Okay, this rocket hit the moon going really fast.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it left a
asteroid,
crater,
a crater.
To where we could see it on a telescope
That's
today.
right, okay.
And so there are I could be wrong with this number, but I believe thousands of water bears stranded in this crater on the moon.
No, that
Yes.
makes me sad.
So
how does this
my
connect to-
idea
yeah, I was like,
is to build a restaurant that serves water, and we send this straight up to the moon with a rocket that won't crash. Instead, it lands, and the water's on the restaurant is on like a little moon rover, and so it goes over to where the water bears were, and then it kind of just like starts to tip a little water onto the water bears. They all start coming alive a little bit, and then they, in the time span they're alive and able to do that, they go, and this is an actual restaurant, and they can go into the restaurant where they can have water for the rest of their lives.
So this is like a life-saving pub for microorganisms.
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't have to be that big because they're microscopic.
Okay, I kind of love that. I just got one issue with this, Jackson.
Okay.
The moon's kind of cold. How are you going to keep the water from freezing?
I was also thinking about that.
It's in a one of those concealed domes that that has its own
Ecosystem?
ecosystem. Yeah.
Oh,
May I
wow.
ask something?
Go for it, Walker.
Do you feel like we should be using our limited water resources to help microscopic organisms?
Well,
Excuse me,
It's
what? Hold up. We do not have a limited water resource. You just need to dig 4 blocks and place 2 water buckets on opposite corners, and you're fine.
Oh my
Not the Minecraft reference.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, it's about like a
I guess it's not that much
gallon
water
of water, maybe 2. So it's
to
like
feed them for 2 more decades.
yeah,
If even.
probably longer.
Yeah.
They're pretty tough.
All right.
Finley would tell you.
Yep.
I'm looking up water bears immediately when we
probably
start.
should've said
When we
They're-
start
okay.
Stop recording. I'm looking this up.
They're kind of adorable, and they just make humans seem really killable. Like, us as people, we're just so squishy, and water bears are not squishy. They're so indestructible. They're so like heat and cold resistant. They're like, you can't like smash them. They're also gamma, X-ray, a different kind of wave. I'm blanking on the name. They're repellent to those.
It's crazy.
I'm
They're
just curious
indestructible
because
little
bears
dudes.
don't have those qualities. So why were they named water bears?
Because they look like little like bears, kind of. They have claws.
Okay, they're freaking adorable.
What are they?
I'm gonna
what's their
look them
actual
up when
name?
we stop recording.
I can't think of it.
It's like starts with an A.
No, that's in the book.
Argopods. That's my
Nope.
guess.
No, so in the book that we're reading, it's kind of similar to a water bear, but in the book we're reading, it's called an astrophage.
Anyways.
Hey, yeah. Stop discussing curriculum
Yeah.
during the podcast.
Yeah.
guys.
No more science.
Yeah. All right,
We are not a science show.
Jason.
That's the Sci show.
It's your time to decide who wins the pitch.
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
who wins? Who won?
Okay,
I can't.
I love both the ideas. I like Jackson's Corner Pub for the water bears. That just in my mind, that's so adorable. And you also have like little water bears playing, like one's on the upright bass, one's on the keys. They have like a little jazz band.
exactly. So
That would be so fun. But the petting zoo, he got all the way from left field. No animals involved. Like, petting zoo is a very like stereotypical animal thing. Walker all the way from left field brings in celebrities for the petting zoo, and I absolutely love that. So I think I'm gonna have to crown Walker as
Yes!
Oh, no.
Let's go.
Boo.
It's a good day today.
We need an official heard about it board.
We need like a trophy that sits on one side each episode. Like whoever won it gets to be on
trophy for the what are we calling this?
Game time.
Game time.
There's 2 though. That's the thing.
We haven't given them names. We'll give them names next episode.
Yeah, we'll come up with them. But anyways, trophy for the second one, crown for the first one.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes. That probably won't be for a while.
That's all we have for y'all today.
I thought of another announcement, but I can't remember anymore. So
we'll figure it out.
Now I was gonna say something.
He was gonna say thank you guys for watching.
Yes.
We really hope you enjoyed. We're sorry that we're releasing every other week, but the episodes are going to be a little bit longer, so it should fill your time. You can watch it over the course of a couple days.
It's about an hour. I've been keeping track of time.
Yeah, we're glad that we were able to have Jason more involved in this episode.
Yes. Awesome.
So yeah.
Even though
thank you guys.
Keep laughing.
We'll
see you next
y'all
time.
in 2 weeks.
Bye.